What is up, everybody? We're back here at King Film Sports for the second round locks in March Madness. Bit of a tough start to the tournament through the first four and the first round, but we are here to bounce back in the second round, starting out here with the Saturday locks. So we start with 12-seeded Richmond pulling off a big upset against Iowa and Providence at the 4 line. In this game, you've got to give me Providence minus the 2.5 points here. I actually like them for most of the season. They've played great team basketball, and they are great down the stretch in games, great clutch time scoring and clutch time ability. And I really was scared off in the first round by that loss to Creighton in the Big East tournament, but that was just a great win against South Dakota State. I think they'll be able to clamp up this Richmond team, slow down Gilliard. He's really their main scorer, so if they can do that, I think they win this one handily. I do not know why the spread is only 2.5 points, so give me the Friars there. Big. Next game, we get to a West Coast classic here. We got St. Mary's at the 5 line against UCLA at the 4. St. Mary's looked absolutely spectacular in the first round against Indiana, won by 30 points, I believe. UCLA was on upset alert against Akron. They barely won against the Zips. In this game, give me St. Mary's, and I'm getting some value, plus 130 on the money line. I think this St. Mary's team has been great all year in a tough WCC conference. Some could argue that the WCC this year has been better than the Pac-12. St. Mary's definitely battle-tested. They beat Gonzaga one time, although they did lose to them twice. UCLA, they themselves did beat Arizona, but lost to them twice. So I think these two teams are very evenly matched, but St. Mary's just coming in hotter as of late with that big win against Indiana, so I'll give them the benefit of the doubt. Plus 130 on the money line. Lock it in. Next game, we get to Arkansas and New Mexico State, and I'm taking Arkansas at the 4 line, minus the 6 points here against a fraudulent New Mexico State team. I understand New Mexico State had one of the best games of their season against UConn, upsetting them with the 7-point victory. I had them in the spread in that first game. I thought it was a trap spot. And Teddy Allen had one of his best games of the year, one of the best games of the tournament, dropping 37, but he was very cocky in that one, and I think the Hogs might shut him up here. They're going to focus all of their defense on him. And as far as the Arkansas offense, I think J.D. Note has a big game here, drops 20-plus points. Hogs also have a lot of other dynamic scorers here, so Arkansas minus the 6 points. I think they end New Mexico State here in advance of the Sweet 16. Now we get to the Sunday locks. We have 5 here, and first we start out with Villanova and the Ohio State Buckeyes. Here I have Villanova minus the 5 points. They made quick work of their first-round opponent. Ohio State also did have a relatively easy game against Loyola Chicago, where it was never really in question in the second half, but Loyola could not score. They only scored 41 points in the ball game, whereas Villanova, with their dynamic shooting and driving, I think they're going to drop like 70-plus points, so it's going to be on E.J. Liddell to lead the Buckeyes team to an offensive shootout, and I just do not think they can do that. I think Colin Gillespie gets the better of the Buckeyes there, so give me Villanova minus the 5. I think Villanova wins probably by a double-digit margin there. Next game, we get to Notre Dame and Texas Tech. Notre Dame, obviously 2-game winning streak in the tournament as they took down Rutgers and then they took down Bama, but they're running into a different beast here. Give me the Texas Tech Red Raiders minus the 7.5. They are a very seasoned tournament team. 2019 went to the Final Four, and they just are on a great roll down the stretch in their Big 12 season. Got a couple of huge wins there, and then made it to the final of the Big 12 tournament. And I just really like their matchup here against Notre Dame. Notre Dame just does not have the talent to match up with Texas Tech in this spot. I think Texas Tech probably a sleeper team to win this entire tournament at the 3 line. So give me Texas Tech minus 7.5. I think they end the Fighting Irish's run. Next game, we got 11-seeded Iowa State and 3-seed Wisconsin. Give me the Badgers minus the 3 here. A lot of disrespect coming their way in the first round as they almost got knocked off by Colgate, but Johnny Davis and the Badgers did just enough to fend them off there. I think Iowa State is probably worse than that Colgate team was. I think Wisconsin just wins this game. Johnny Davis going to do what he has to, and Wisconsin probably has the better big men in this matchup. Iowa State, I just don't see enough consistent offense for them in this game, so I think Wisconsin is the better play -3. Next game, we get to Texas and Purdue. And give me Purdue -3 points. I know that Texas has Chris Beard as a head coach. He was great at Texas Tech. And they had a good game against Virginia Tech in the first round. But I think just the road ends here. Purdue has so much talent. They have a lot more talent than Texas, in my opinion. And you look at Jaden Ivey, I think he's dropping 25 here. No way he's letting their run end in the second round. And then they have Zach Edey. I mean, he's just going to dominate the middle against this Texas team. Texas has no good big men to match up with Purdue's front court. So I think Purdue makes quick work of Texas there. Texas shot very well against Virginia Tech. I don't think they're going to do the same here. So give me the Boilermakers -3. And then to the final game, we got Houston versus Illinois. And we have a rare occurrence here as 5-seed Houston is actually favored by 4.5 to 5 points against the Fighting Illini. Give me the Fighting Illini +170. They finished as the Big Ten's best regular season team, and unfortunately had a pretty bad loss to start of the Big Ten tournament, lost to Indiana, and then in the first round of the tournament almost got upset by the Chattanooga Mocs. All of their best players had pretty bad games. Coburn, Frazier, Corbello. I mean, they got to play a lot better, but I think they will here. They've already been put on upset alert, so I think they just have a much better game here. They're ready to go against this Houston team. And if that's the case, I think there's no doubt that Illinois has more talent here and they can get it done. So give me Illinois +170. That is great value for Illinois, who I think is the better team to win. And with that, make sure to drop your guys' second round betting locks in the comments down below. As always, be sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you all in the next one.